we don't have anything to review, so we'll start right with the business, is festivals and event production, and we have three of the top people in the region. First of all, Marsha Singer, who for 16 years,
We started in 1994 with World Cup, so add that up. Let's see, 94.
16.
I'm going to say
How did I remember that?
But I've been doing festival events since 1994. So.
Okay, she's the producer of the North Texas Irish Festival, 60,000 people attending, 2.5 days, 6 stages, 8 stages, 9 stages, okay? 20, how many years, 25 years, that event
This
has
is our
been
28th year. This is our 28th year.
28 years. So when I need an expert in event production, when I need to find where to find the best deal on tents, Marsha's the person. When you want to hire somebody, you hire Marsha. When you have any question, you ask her. Okay?
I don't have it. But he does have the answer.
And believe me, she knows the cheapest has helped us so much, the ways to stay within your budget. Akram Syed, who is president of the Indian Association of North Texas and is an entrepreneur, and his company's name is Axelor.
You're
Axelor.
close, yeah.
Indian Association is a network for 80 organizations. Think about that. And they produce 3 big events a year, 2 huge ones and 1 smaller one. My favorite is the Anand Bazaar. What does Anand mean?
Anand means happiness.
The Anand Bazaar, which is in the racetrack, what's the Lone Star?
Lone Star.
No, Lone Star Park. 60,000 people attend, no, 40,000, 50.
Ranges from 20 to 30,000.
Lots of people, lots of sponsors, lots of great food, booths. It's an extraordinary community event. And also, AK Akbar Ali, who's with the Partnership Walk, and his company, he's a Keller Williams realtor.
That is right.
I didn't realize that. Partnership Walk has done their event for something like 8 years
In Dallas, yes, about 8 to 10
on
years.
City Hall Plaza. They knew nothing when they started, and I was really honored to work with them because they raise funds. Each event is different, so you get the best of 3 perspectives. They raised last year, I've heard $500,000, I've heard $800,000 from projects that the Aga Khan Foundation does in the third world. Schools for girls, water projects in deserted areas, etc. And so he was this year's coordinator. I sent you a list of items that we'll be discussing, and I'm not going to say a word. They're going to take over. Can you see them the way they are? Are we fitting in the camera? Can we see Marsha? Will we need to move the camera position to get all 3 of them? Because I don't think Marsha is in.
Scooch over.
Or maybe we could move it. Let's see what Kathy can come up with. So we'll hopefully start with the beginning.
We'll start at the
Okay? Yeah, and because you have to have a concept for your festival and a timeline and sponsors, and then we'll go through all the details. How have you all decided to do the presentation?
We're going to let Marsha
Leave
and
it up to a couple of men. I get to start. Sure, no problem. Well, I think the best way to do this is I'll start and kind of cover some things, and it's going to be not 1, 2, 3 speakers. If either one of these gentlemen have something to add to what we're talking about, then just jump right in, because I think rather than being very specific with the information, it's more of a roundtable discussion. Each one of us is different, but I do about 10 to 12 events a year. The Irish Festival is one of them. I actually do one that's a little bit bigger than the Irish Festival called City Art Celebration, and we had about 120,000 people at that event last year. So I think just based on the difference of the events and what each one of us does, that we'll all have something to add. I think Anne Marie sent you this list of topics that we're going to try and cover. Just real quick, in my perception, all events are 75% the same. There's a formula that you follow and that covers your logistics and your operations and your security and your this and your that, which we'll talk about more specifically. But then there's that 25 to 30% which is unique to the event itself. The Irish Festival, for example, it's a public festival. We have 9 stages, we have music, we have a kids area, we have volunteers, we have food and beverage, we do permits, but it's Celtic. So I think everybody's event, you've got to do this, you've got to do your checklist to make sure that the event is ready to go, and then you put in that flavor and that color as to what that specific, what the ethnicity is, what the purpose is, what the goal is, where this guy's is one goal, mine may be another. So I've got a basic checklist for indoor and outdoor, and I apologize, I don't have electronically, but I gave a copy to Anne Marie, which she can recapture or scan and send to you guys. But the first thing you got to do is what's the event? I mean, why are you going to have an event? I think this addresses the setting goals. With my events, most of my clients are nonprofits. I've had everything from the food bank, which wanted me to do an event for them for 6 years, for an awareness. The Rockwall Chamber of Commerce, I do an event for the Rockwall Chamber of Commerce called Rock on the Dogs, and it's a fundraiser. It's specifically designed to raise money for the chamber. The Irish Festival is specifically designed for education and awareness. It's not a fundraiser, but the sponsor, Southwest Celtic Music Association, they're a 501c3, and their mission statement is to provide education and entertainment that is about Celtic nations. So each one's got a different goal. I think if you guys want to speak to what your goals are, setting that goal, what is your event, and what's your focus, theme, and message? That's the first thing you do.
Well, for the partnership walk, you know, our main objective is to raise awareness and to raise funds, right? So when we started the planning process, of course, first of all, we come up with a team that's going to be there this year, and that comes from our national committee. Once we have those materials, the number one fundamental thing, and I'm sure the other two will agree to this, is just building a good, solid team, right? Because if you don't have people you can't rely on, nothing's going to be getting done. So you also want to make sure, and every project that I end up working with, my number one goal is to make sure that the team has good chemistry. Yeah, everybody's got talent, but people need to be able to get along to do good work. So when I do certain projects, I make sure that everyone in the team just has that chemistry, that they will work together. Because when you put on big events, there will be arguments, there will be heated discussions. We want to make sure that people don't end up walking out of a project just because things like that happen. So we want to make sure that, you know, there's that flow in the team. That's one of the things.
Going back to the goal setting, goal has to match with the mission of the organization. I'm sure a lot of you are representing the business aspect, cultural aspect, various other non-profit organizations. Within non-profit organizations, we have several organizations with different mission, different objective. So I think the team and the goal of the event should match the mission of the organization in general. Okay? You cannot have in a cultural event a business meeting, like the Chamber of Commerce cannot. The other day when we were having a strategy meeting, people were suggesting that DFW International should have if you will, a Chamber of Commerce kind of event. Our mission, DFW International mission, is different than Chamber of Commerce. But here the class will cover the general goal setting in general. Goal setting should always be realistic, I think. It has to be realistic. What are we going to achieve? What is the primary objective of it? To raise money, to create awareness, or to market your organization. So I think the goals have to be, matched. They can develop a matrix of how we can match.
Yeah, you've got to make sure that you understand why you're having the event. Just go out willy-nilly and go, okay, we're going to have a festival, and not have any long-term goals as to what it is. The team's very, very important, and the team has to have a vested interest in that goal too. You just can't pull someone up because they want to volunteer, become an event planner, and expect them to have the same dedication and commitment to the event. So setting goals is important. You got to know why you're doing it, basically.
And one other thing, one other thing about the whole goal setting process, right? Depending on what stage of your institution that you're in at the moment and the type of event that you're putting on, if this is going to end up being an annual event that you're planning on doing even later on, if this is something new that you're doing, number one, the thing about goal setting is also that you need to have attainable goals, right? Yeah, it's always great to be very optimistic, but you also have to be realistic when you're starting off a project or starting off an event. Then, of course, you can put in growth into the following years after that to reach the goal over time, but when you're first putting an event together, make sure that